Hi, I'm Eric. I run client strategy here at Attentive, and I'm joined by Robert, who is the VP of e-commerce for rue21. We are here to talk through holidays. So 2019, what went well, what's changed over the last 12 months, and then in particular, how to use SMS for holidays. And so, little background on Attentive. We've been around for about 4 years now. We've raised almost $400 million in funding, most of that this year, and we're about 475 people, mostly in New York. And so we have been building, the largest, focused SMS personalization marketing platform. And so we're extremely proud to be able to work with over 2,000 e-commerce and retail customers. And on average, we're driving around 18.5% of revenue for our customers. Most of our focus has been how to make SMS a really great channel out of the gate. And so a lot of our customers are new to SMS. We've built all of the tools that you would need to grow a program, scale a program, and especially for large enterprise customers, really build SMS into your marketing stack. And so what we'll be talking about for this is 2020 holidays, insights on that, but in particular, why SMS this year, and then we'll talk to Robert about what rue21 did last year, what this year is really going to drive a lot for them, and then overall some of the things that we're seeing for SMS and the overall market this holidays. So when we look at 2019, every year is the year of mobile. Last year was actually the year of mobile, and so revenue driven, especially growth from smartphones, was finally really something. So almost 40% of sales driven directly from mobile. In particular, I think that overall growth in e-commerce, 84% of that was driven from smartphones. And so we expect, especially as more and more people migrate to mobile, that we're going to see more and more trends like this. For Attentive in particular, we were finding that performance across the platform was significantly higher during holidays. So overall messages sent across the platform drove an ROI of around 50x. And that was across every different type of message. So coupon reminders, cart abandonment, marketing messages around particular deals, new releases, across the spectrum, things were extremely good. And so when we look forward to 2020, this is exactly the type of performance we would look to repeat. When you look at for this holiday season, I think that COVID in particular has driven obviously a surge in overall e-commerce spending. When you survey people, a lot of people say that they are less likely to want to go back into stores. We've seen that that's not necessarily the case. It kind of depends by region, by demographic, and so we have a lot of partners where store sales are up, even though overall the category is down. And so, especially as retailers are looking for things like SMS, where they're going to be looking at innovative new use cases. So maybe buy online, pick up in store, use cases like that. Where I think that the biggest trend has been so far for what COVID is going to do for, especially for SMS, but overall e-commerce and retail, people are going to be starting their sales earlier. So we surveyed all of our customers. More than half of people are going to be starting sales earlier. Moving that up in the overall cycle probably starts with Amazon. So you'll see their sales starting in October. You're going to see a lot of similar things sort of being pushed up in the calendar. There's a lot of reasons. I think that a lot of people are also talking about shipping. And so you'll see that the kind of spectrum of marketing will shift up a couple of weeks, probably across all categories. Why SMS in particular for 2020? It is just the fastest growing section of e-commerce is mobile. And when you look at overall quarter over quarter, year over year growth, you're seeing probably the largest increase ever. Almost 20% of sales were coming from mobile. And so this is a trend that is speeding up, especially as you see the demographic shifts. Young people are not walking down the street, checking email on their phones, they're checking text on their phones. And so you're seeing that overall sales for e-commerce and for mobile are increasing. I think for rue21, you probably are 5 years ahead of this. And so especially for a lot of people where their market is a younger demographic, this has been true for years now. This is certainly going to be true for the overall market, though, in the next couple of years. And it's very straightforward. I mean, our background, so previously at Twitter, and then our company before that was focused on apps. Apps, people don't really download as much on their phones. The average number of apps downloaded in a given month is 0. And so the native app is the one that people use. Every phone comes with text. All people do all day is text. And it's a great place to reach people. And so when you ask people, would you like to hear from a brand via text? Overwhelmingly, the answer is yes. Some people still are not signed up. We've signed up hundreds of millions of people. And so this is something that if you're not doing it currently, your competitors probably are. Certainly, this has been true for a couple of years now, and I think we're beginning to see this go mainstream. And when you look at performance, revenue per message is just substantially higher than email. So click-through rates extremely high, ROI extremely high, but engagement more than anything is leading to revenue. And so all of these trends coming together, rise of mobile, text being the most popular channel, really makes this a great channel for connecting with customers, especially during holidays. When you ask marketers directly, where are you going to be investing? SMS is one of the 2 channels that people are looking to grow in. And so, we're extremely excited to have been able to raise probably 80% of our funding in the last 9 months. And we're spending all of that money hiring engineers, trying to build great product for our customers. And I think, kind of handing things over to Robert, we'll talk through what are people actually doing on the channel, and then we'll talk through some 2020 holiday goals.
Excellent. Thanks, Eric. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Robert Brous. Thanks for being here with us, and thank you for having me as well. I lead the e-commerce and digital team over at rue21. We have a hyper focus on our customer journey and orchestration. It's at the heart of what we do. It's how we decide. It's how we plan. And it's for that reason that SMS is just so critical, as Eric had noted, from a demographic perspective. Our demographic is largely, Gen Z, millennial. It's a younger demographic. 80% of our traffic and nearly 80% of our, e-commerce revenue is mobile. So we've got, a large number of users that are utilizing, obviously, their phones, and certainly text messaging as well. Anecdotally, as the father of 3 children who are in their young 20s, if you took their laptop away, if you took their desktop away, if you deleted their email account, I don't know, there could be a couple of notes, but if they lost their cell phone, the world is on fire. I mean, bad things are happening immediately. And it's about that immediacy and that connectivity that they have with other people, and also brands that, make that the modality of the cell phone just so super critical. So how are we using SMS? We use it in a lot of ways. We've been with Attentive for over a year now. We've integrated with our site, we've integrated with email, we've integrated with our CRM, and recently also with our recently launched loyalty program as well. We partner with Attentive, obviously, for the SMS channel and strategy, but also because of testing abilities and the list of what we do now is equal, if not smaller, than the list of what we're dreaming about as we're beginning to re-platform and have more capabilities available to us. But in the meantime, some of the things we're doing, we have our subscription and our list growth through the double tap in option. We blast out our fashion news. Obviously, our in-store promotions, online promotions, free delivery and opportunities, sales, but also in the scaling, automation, and personalization of the messaging that we do. We work with Attentive and the SMS channel to be, a leader in terms of how we connect with our customer base. So looking at some of the features and functionalities that we're utilizing right now, the two-tap sign-up is probably one of my favorites. And also one of the things, quite frankly, that sold me, working with Attentive in the very beginning anyway, just because the technology is really seamless and customer focused. It's easy. Our customers look to the experience, and after tapping, to sign up, it automatically populates. They get to reply automatically in their native app. And in the process, we get to seamlessly create an experience and also deliver all the critical elements of what that experience relates to in terms of also, legality and opt-out and privacy and other things like that. And Attentive's been a fantastic partner in developing all of these works and flows for us. It's, a lot of our flow and loyalty growth has become because of this two-tap option, and has grown dramatically. Some of the other things that we've done is, through the holiday seasons and ways that we've marketed, we've done, promoting our BOGOs, promoting, in-store opportunities, promoting our tier programs, free shipping events. One thing in particular, and, this is a look back to 2019, 2020 will obviously look a little different with COVID and, people perhaps not looking to congregate as intensely on Black Friday. But last year for 2019, the delivery mechanism for limited time deals is really critical for us, actually, because as we had timed events in stores in 3 and 5 hour increments, our ability in SMS to deliver that timed experience in real time was critical, whereas other marketing vehicles would not have been able to deliver that experience. Our guests had that opportunity to capitalize in store for these time offers because of the technologies and the speed of how quickly we were able to deliver these messages. Next slide, we can look at some of the other ways, aside from the marketing and some of the fashion credit we like to get. One of the things that's really critical is the personalization and scaling of the program. As noted, and as we've talked about, that, the text messaging and mobile application is just a quicker, easier, faster way to connect and to remind people. So when we look at our browse abandon and cart abandon in many of our other marketing channels, the statistics that support the cart abandon, for the SMS have been particularly strong for us, because it's a simple reminder when we're browsing and what we're browsing and why we're interrupted at any given point in time. In our email channel, that could get buried. But for the quick, brief reminder, it pops up on screen, and the ability to get right back to cart and to product is very seamless, easy. And again, our customers, 80% on their mobile phone from a traffic perspective. So it's made it very easy to, 1, to set up, 2, to connect on a personal way, and 3, to scale. So that's been a fantastic product for us as well. Looking at the metrics, all in all, it's been a fantastic program for us. The subscriber growth, as we've talked about with the double tap, has been fantastic. We've scaled to, from 0 to hundreds of thousands, to almost users, to millions of users. The immediacy of it, and I would challenge anyone to say that their email click-through rates compare to their SMS click-through rates. So for us, we know that our customer is engaging with the messages, and the conversion is really strong for us as well. There are other metrics underneath the hood, though, that perform really well for us from a channel perspective. Our AOV is higher. Also, our revenue per user is higher, and revenue per visit in the channel is also very higher, because again, the customer is hyper engaged when they're moving with us. So some of the things that we've learned from the channel, I think the channel is actually really, incredible in terms of the way we communicate. One of the things that people who transition to SMS often are challenged with are the notion that there are character limits. I actually look at that as a strength. But when we're communicating, we have to communicate as if it's personal, because it is, and they're on their phone, and it's the closest thing where they have their friends, their family, their social feeds, their Snapchat, everything that they're doing. So communicate as if it is personal. And the thing about it that's really great is the constraint of the characters forces you to make the communication to the point. This is a quick moment in time that your customer is engaging with the brand. So anticipate your customers' needs also. So in the fact that you can't deliver all messages at all one time, understand what they're looking to do. In our back to school season, we know our customers outfitting and they're buying, multiple items, and the number of units per transaction are really high. So our tiered program is really fantastic because the more they buy, the more, they can save, and it really works with the way they're thinking in those moments in time as they're putting together outfits for back to school. I always tease the team about be brief, be bright, and be on brand. And that connects also to, the notion that you have a moment in time and you want to be able to communicate. Going back to the anticipation also, though, like in this upcoming season, one thing that, we're looking to anticipate is that, as Eric had mentioned, shipping is going to potentially be an issue as more people are gravitating towards an e-commerce channel. So the ability to communicate with your customer about, hey, where's your package, shipping delays, other things like that. We're trying to anticipate our customers' needs ahead of the season and planning for that as well. And the last thing is automate and scale from that perspective as well. That, the cart abandon, the browse abandon, the personalization of, what people are looking for makes a huge difference. So those have been some of our experiences. Passing it back to you, Eric.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, you definitely touched on it. Going into holidays this year, and certainly something that was true last year and is definitely more true this year, starting early. We have heard consistently that when people are thinking about their calendars, not only are the messages moving up into October, November, but the messages themselves are going to send earlier in the day. And the overall reason is just, especially with the election looming, there's a lot of traffic on the networks. And so getting your message out first is still really important. But so is just being normal. A lot of people are still sticking to a very traditional Black Friday, Cyber Monday calendar. If anything, they are probably potentially making up for, maybe they have channels that are down. So whether they are in retail and the stores are down, whether they wholesale and they're kind of having less demand there, they're making up for that on text. They're making up for that on email and Facebook. But anything that is an e-commerce or digital channel, we're seeing a lot of people push a lot of their extra budget to that. And I think just treating people in a personal way, and especially when you can integrate something like loyalty, which we've been able to do with Robert and his team, trying to talk to people in a special way and making them feel special, they feel a more personal connection to a brand when they get a text from it. We ran a survey a couple of years ago, and we asked people what it was like getting text, and someone said that it was kind of like having a friend. That's true. That's how people feel. And I think if you're able to make that connection, that's very powerful. And then what Robert said is 100% true. If there are expectations that you can set proactively with people, especially as it relates to placing orders and then getting those in time for holiday, getting that in time for whatever it is, that's something that you definitely want to try and take advantage of. People are checking their phones. Our transactional message volume is increasing because people want to make sure that they're able to update people on delivery windows. Anything you can do to tell people, hey, buy now, get your package by Christmas. Any way you can do that, you definitely want to. And we're trying everything we can to keep people up to date. So we have an entire holiday center. Scan this. I believe it'll take you directly to our holiday hub. You can sign up for texts. In general, what we have seen is that preparing earlier is better, more than ever, especially with a lot of the uncertainty right now. And so if you have the opportunity to launch a new program, we'll be launching people up through mid-November. So anything that you want, we're happy to help with. And I think in general, what we've been trying to work with all of our partners to do is just, get things up and running, try and maximize revenue heading into holidays, especially when shipping windows are tight. Your calendar might have to, end earlier in December than it might usually. So we're doing everything we can to help. So thank you so much for joining us. We've been thrilled to have you. And I think, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to us at events@attentivemobile.com. And thanks again for your time.
Thank you, guys.